Hello, everybody. Hopefully, we are all doing really well. You're looking down upon a Taylor acoustic guitar. Justin, thanks for being here, brother. I hope you're having a great day so far. It was great to talk with you this morning. Hey, Steven, what's up, brother? Doing a refret. I'm going to give it a few minutes at this point to see if anybody else wants to join us. On this guitar, I've already refretted from the 10th fret to the 3rd fret at this point. So these have all been replaced. And I have these two left to go. And when I pull them out, you can see the damage that's been done. Yeah, I got you. I got you, Justin. That's cool. I'm going to try and talk as much as I can in the time that I've got here. So a few things. Steve, welcome, brother. It's good to see you. I hope you're hard at work building another guitar. If you just joined us and you're not familiar with Mr. Steven, he is a luthier building instruments up in Aberdeen, Washington, I believe, or close to Aberdeen. Yeah. Okay. Cool. And Stephen, I got something. I know you're just listening and you're working, so I don't want to interrupt your work. But take a look at this. I think we've got that whole thing. Hopefully the whole thing in the photo. Does that look at all like anything you've ever seen before, brother? Yep. I have this amp that is built, and I'm going to be kind of careful with this stuff. This is paperwork that was given to me by my journeyman, Stu. So there's the schematic, and check that out. I had that to work with. There's the circuit. I'm going to hide that now. And an original owner's manual for the amplifier. I'm not going to feature that amplifier on today's show. I'll do that at another time when I can, when I have time. It is a 1942 Kalamazoo KEH model amplifier, and this is the original from Gibson Incorporated, Kalamazoo, Michigan, 1942. And Stu was able to find the original owner's manual for that amp. It's been heavily modified, so the circuit that you see, this would be the original circuit, of course, but the new circuit has been heavily modified. So I don't believe Stu had altered this drawing. This may be the schematic for the actual circuit that's in the amplifier. I'm not 100% certain on that. Steve, the work has actually already all been done on the amplifier, and I have already fired it up and played through it and let a few of my lucky clients that come into my shop on a regular basis have played through it. Just so you're aware, out of all respect for an amplifier of that age, I used a 1952 Fender Telecaster to make it breathe its first breath of musical life, which as a luthier, I'm one of the luckiest in the world because I have a 1952 Telecaster literally at my disposal. So yeah, the work on that Kalamazoo amp has already been done. So I'm just going to be demoing it. So Mr. Preston, hello, welcome, brother. It's great to see you. Couple of plugs right at the moment. We've got Preston Smith here. I doubt we'll see the Falcro today, but those two guys share some Wednesday evening time. Preston has his jam night, basement jam. I believe it starts around Maybe Preston could give you the details for his show. I'm usually at work, I think, when it starts, but it starts around 6 p.m. West Coast time in the United States. And Preston's on the east side of our, and on the eastern side of Canada, I believe, location-wise. Yeah, sure, Bray. Yeah. I've really enjoyed your broadcast, Preston. It's really fun. A lot of the songs that you play on there, I've learned in my history of guitar playing and have probably forgotten, not probably, I've forgotten how to play most of them. Let me point this up at my ugly mug. Hello, everybody. Welcome. It's good to see y'all here. Yeah, so, oh, it's tonight. Okay. So you've got your broadcast this evening. It's not on Wednesday today. Oh, today is Wednesday. What? It was a late night for me last night. I was recording. Late night. uh, just north of downtown Canada. All right. So 9 p.m. Basically Eastern Daylight Time tonight. And it'd be 6 p.m. West Coast time where I'm at, Pacific Daylight Time. We actually have some sun coming out. The weather has just gotten glorious. We'll probably have to turn the air conditioning on in the shop today. I don't have it on right now. It's just absolutely stunningly beautiful right now. And we waited for Mother Nature to finally go, hey, I'm going to let you see the sun again. And we're here in Oregon, it rains. And it did this year. It was brutal, brutal spring. Yeah. Okay, man. Preston, I'm glad you're here. I'm going to go ahead and get started. We've got a couple people that have showed up. Thank you for being here. If you're just lurking and watching, I appreciate you being here. I've also would like to say that about 70% of the views on my channel are from people that aren't subscribed. So if you're watching right now and you haven't subscribed to my channel, it'd be very kind of you if you would do that. Go ahead and hit the thumbs up. It helps my videos get seen by more people, and I put educational stuff mostly on the internet, and a lot of people I know have learned a lot of stuff. So hit the thumbs up, hit the subscribe button. If you hit the bell, you'll get notified when I go live or whatever. So I appreciate that. Thanks to everybody who has subscribed. Be sure to subscribe to Preston Smith Music, Jam Pro Sound, I believe Justin Mai. I don't know if Stephen Rolfing has a YouTube channel at this point, but we're hoping to get him going. He builds guitars. Let's see. The Falcro, check him out. He'll also be live tonight, I believe. Let's see. Ron Ward, Indie Music Live. Subscribe to him. The Metalhead Hippie. Be sure to subscribe to him. Let's see. And I'm wearing a shirt given to me by a good friend of mine, who I've recorded a bunch of music with that nobody has ever heard. So it's all sitting in the shop, in the shelf, waiting. So yeah, dude. Yeah. So hit up Preston Smith. I don't have any mods in here, or I would. In fact, Preston, I'm going to make you a mod, and I would love it if you could post a link to your channel and maybe the Falcro's channel. Let me do that real quick. Give me a second here. I can't believe I haven't made you a moderator yet. Let's see. Add moderator. And here we go. All right. Yep. Okay, so we're going to get to work now. I've talked enough. So I'm going to get you down here in the business. Hoping that camera angle is right. I'm going to let things kind of settle in here. Preston, feel free to put links to just about anything you'd like. We'll avoid the the bad stuff. Not that you would ever do that, my friend. Yeah. Okay. So what I have found on this instrument, number one, you need a couple of tools. Fret puller. This tool, I believe I purchased from Stu Mack. It's made in Japan, a very precise tool for pulling frets. I also have a nipper here for cutting the tines where the binding is on this instrument, and a brass-headed hammer. The brass is softer than the metal that the frets are made of, so tapping them doesn't hurt a thing. I've got a nice brace underneath the instrument to keep it solid. These are things that you'll need if you're going to do your own fretting work. So far, all the frets have come out of this very smoothly and without any or much chip out at all. That's the big thing. So you want to go very, very slowly with this process. If you've never done this before, I've done a lot of these, and so what I do is I just go very, very slowly across this, and I'm pushing down into the fingerboard to keep the chip out at a minimum. Just one little movement. You need to take your time doing this to redo some frets. It's nothing hurried about this. Very important to take your time. Once you get about halfway across, the frets really start to come out very easily. This is Dunlop's 6260 fret wire that I'm using on this. It's what Taylor used in the original construction of this guitar. I'm having trouble getting underneath this one right here, so we're going to back up a little bit. Often I can see a little bit of pullout, and I know you guys are not going to be able to see this in the video, but I take a flathead screwdriver. I've got one spot over here where it's starting to lift ever so slightly, and it looks like one little spot right here, and this fret has really taken a hit right here. It's been really driven into the fingerboard, so I'm going to just go really slowly over this section here. It is not wanting to come out. I'm going to attack this from the opposite direction now. I'm going to get under here. There we go. There we go. There we go. And very carefully rock that thing back and pull the fret out of there. And as you can see, there's a little bit of chipping going on here. And that's kind of the danger of doing fret work, is chip out on the fingerboard. You want to keep that at bay as best you can. Here's a look at the fret. Try and give you let's look at it. That's how it was on the guitar, and these divots are just, the frets are, there's almost nothing left of that fret, and the first fret is the worst one, especially where that B string is. So we will get that. Now let's see, I want to go from let me look at this fret wire one more time. Yeah, I'm going to go from this end. I've got it radiused, and what we need to do, the very edge of this, there's binding on this, so I take my nippers here and just cut a tiny little bit of the tine off of this, and they make a special tool that actually is designed to nip the tines off of a fret. I got the wrong side of these clippers. One side of these is really sharp and the other side's a little bit dull. So let me go at this from this direction. Snip and snip. And now we have a little notch out of that tine. And then hold this up to the instrument. Try and get it aligned, and I'm going to snip it right about there. I'm not too worried about wasting too much fret wire in this case. There'll be a little excess. So now I've got a fret that will fit that. It's bent, radiused to fit the fingerboard. And then I'm going to snip off this tine on this side of the fret. Take just a little bit out of it. So now we've got that fret all set up to go into its place on the guitar. And it fits perfect. Now what I've found on this instrument is that I'm having to use a bit of CA glue after pulling a fret and putting it back in, the outer edges of it. This is a 16-inch radius fingerboard. I measured that with my radius measuring device, which is right here. Hold that over that and it's perfectly flat. A little dusty. So we've got a 16-inch radius fingerboard. And again, we're going to get this fret. My hands aren't working real great today for some reason. Here we go. Start at this side. Looking good. And zero chip out at that point. Now what I've found is that the outer edges of the frets on either side are not holding real well on this instrument. And another step that I use, you don't always have to do this. However, on this instrument, I'm going to, I need to get my CA glue. Give me just a moment. How's everybody doing? Mr. Rock. Yep. Let me get some. Yeah, if you want to make sure that the fret ends don't pull up, this little bit of install knowledge will come in very handy. And this does not make the frets impossible to get back out. So I've got my little dropper here for my CA glue. This is an ultra runny CA glue. Some speed up the drying process spray. And I'm going to go ahead, before I snip this one off, I can see that I can actually push down on these ends. It's sitting really flush with the fingerboard at that point. There's no gap under it, so we're looking great. Yeah, so I'm going to take my end of my screwdriver here. We're going to go ahead and...
What else you got?
We got the Rockfords.
Rockfords, these?
Well, those might fit. Or we got these powered ones. See, they're just basically Rockford's version of this guy.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
They sound a little better?
I think they're pretty... They're comparable. I think they're pretty comparable.
And these edges will now not pull up. Sorry, I'm talking to like thousands of
people.
Cool. She's almost all done. I got this one left, brother.
Oh, nice.
The guy that owns this guitar is right there.
Looks great.
Yeah, it's going, dude, zero. Look, all these have been replaced. It's like zero chip out.
Sweet.
On this. So they came out clean as a whistle, dude.
Well, they've been beaten into submission.
So
you played the hell out of this thing.
What do we think about like 2 of these?
Okay.
Okay.
I'm going to go ahead and hit this end of the fingerboard also,
And then I'll just replace
or this other side of the fret, just to make sure I've got a little bit of chip out right here.
We could do like
So.
one of those and just hide it up in the dash.
Okay.
One of the little solid state amps.
Okay.
And then it's way easier because it's all just in the dash instead of running speaker wire to and fro and all that stuff.
Okay.
There we go.
That's what I would do.
And then 2 of these, and then just keep it kind of simple.
And now that fret will not come out of there.
Speakers, I can do speakers.
I'm hoping the video's looking okay, you guys.
So that'd be a couple. That'd be like $2,000 with those.
And that?
Yeah. Mine, my hammer has very, very soft brass on it. As you can see, it's dented the hammer versus denting the frets. These are perfectly smooth. So I've been very, very careful. I was, when I got this one, I believe, I can't remember, I think I replaced the head of this one at some point. So Now we've got a little CA glue on the fingerboard. We're going to go ahead and remove that.
Let me see how big they are.
They're like this big.
Like that big?
9.4 by 14.
Cool. They look nice too.
They look really nice. The only issue that I ever have with them is that the grate is sort of big on them. So sometimes like a little piece of plastic falls down in there and bounces on this.
We might be able to fit them behind the wheel.
That would be awesome, because then if anything falls in there, it just goes down.
Sorry, my hand's probably right in the middle of the movie there. But looking great, nice and smooth. Let me get a little bit more of this out of here, and like nothing happened. Only we have a brand new fret now. These things are so terribly worn. I'm going to pull this first fret out of here, which is obviously the most, can you hear, notorious for tearing up fingerboards. Cutting at a slight angle in a downward motion on these, so that I can kind of help get my angle started before I have to file off the edges of this, and I've got a special tool for that also. So, time to pull this next one. God, those are looking so good. They're going in so smooth and coming out so easily. Really incredible. This has been a really pretty effortless refret job. I'm not refretting the entire neck again. I've only replaced up to about fret 10 or 11, 10. It was 10. They were worn badly enough that we felt, let's go ahead and do that. I didn't want to have to remove too much material off of these frets. We'll do a full fret level once I'm done replacing the frets. And we'll check them with the fret level tester. There we go. Ooh, got a little bit of pull out right there. I can see. Again, I'm pushing that pull out back down into the fingerboard. I'm pushing down while I'm squeezing this tool. And there it goes. And there's a look at that fret. I don't know how well you can see the divot in that thing, but there ain't much fret left. I'm hoping that you can see the divot right there. Maybe that will help the clarity in the video. I don't know. It's kind of a it's a cheap camera. Well, it wasn't that cheap, but cheap enough. All right, we're gonna redo our process on getting the tine on the fret. I'm gonna just snip the end of this one off. I don't like the angle it's sitting at. There we go. Now again, snip off the very end of the tine just a little bit. I'm snipping off about less than about 3/16 of an inch. Now I realize another guy was doing this. He'd do it differently, and that's fine. If you do refrets and your process is different than mine, that's just fine. Mark my fret for being snipped here. And again, we will snip off the tine here. And when I do that snip, I do my best to really push the tine down onto the wrench so that I can get as much of that tine off of there as I can. It's not necessarily a perfect science. I'm going to have to take a little bit more off of this one. And I'm going to go from this end. Just take just a slight bit more of the tine off of there to get that fret to fit. And not damage the binding. There we go. I'm trying to keep my hands out of the movie, you guys. Let you see as much as you can. Perfect. That one looks really nice. Went in really solid. Nice. I'm going to do the CA glue trick one more time on this side. And then we'll hit this other side. I'm going to wipe that speed up sauce off of here. Pushing down really hard. Boom. Now we're all dried. Okay. Get out the old razor blade. Scrape away the excess glue here. Boy, we've been busy today here at the shop. Just non-stop. The moment I got here, there were people waiting outside. It's so great to see so many people playing music. I have yet to sell a guitar today, but that'll probably happen. Oh, and the one that I worked on yesterday is all done. Probably play that here in a minute. Just to get some playing time in. I have to keep practice while I'm at work, you know. Part of the job. Okay. Snip off these edges. I'm going to check the chat here in just a moment, see how everybody's doing and what other comments may have come in. So I'm pushing down and snipping at the same time and cutting them at an angle so that when I do file off the edges of these frets, it'll make that process really, really simple. So there you go, 2 frets on a Taylor 314, and she's all refretted, and now it's time to do the edges. I'm going to move my camera here. I've got it all buried underneath all this stuff here. Hope everybody's doing great today. You're sailing way up in the air right now. Come sail away. All right. Let's see what's happening here. Brad, what's up, brother? Hello. Oh, and Kevin, what's up, man? Yes, it's a Taylor. Okay, I'm looking at some of the chat here. Let's see. Brad, dude, it's so great to see you. I know I haven't been paying a lot of attention to the chat. I'm kind of in and out of it. I'm working here. Kevin, I hope you're doing well. Haven't seen you for a while. Kevin's a buddy of mine, lives in the area, our neck of the woods here in the middle of nowhere. Let's see. Okay. Yeah. Preston, I hear you, buddy. I've messed up my own guitars before I started working on others, and I messed up a lot. But the cool thing is you can't really destroy something if you get into a project and you're doing something that you're not real confident of or know. There you go. You just said the perfect thing. Two necks that you can practice on. That's how you do it. The other part of the equation is really having the right tools. That is Kevin. I'm glad to hear it. Trimmer, thanks for being here, man. Very therapeutic. Awesome. Yeah, good to hear, Kevin. I'm hoping you've been playing your guitar. Kevin just got himself a pretty much brand spanking new Fender Strat, and it is. I'm a little jealous, just a little. He took lessons from me for quite some time, and man, his growth was amazing. The guy just dedicated to playing, working with the Circle of Fourths and all of our theory stuff and scales, and started wailing on blues solos and stuff. It's just super fun. And he's got a great voice. Kevin, hats off, brother. I wish we could get him recording and get him heard on some of the music communities. I don't think he's there yet. Hey, Gary, what's up, brother? Hey, it's good to see you. Thanks for being here or tuning in. Wow. Every day. Yes. Good. Yep. Yeah, and let me kind of fill you guys in on my process of doing a refret like this. This is a pretty extensive, not expensive. It is fairly expensive to have done because it takes a lot of time, and I'm sitting here talking, and the guy that owns this guitar, actually his dad owns the shop I work at, so this is kind of free. Only I'll probably end up with a whole bunch of coffee and some Diet Pepsis for my work. Okay, my process to start with, from the moment I remove the strings on an instrument, like doing a refret, pull the strings off, and I use my fret fingerboard leveling bar to level the fingerboard as perfectly level as possible with no strings on it. Get it absolutely perfectly level. Usually means loosening the truss rod a little bit, but in some cases you have to tighten it. Just depends on what the circumstance of the neck is. At that point, I'm comfortable putting frets in the instrument, keeping it level. That way you're starting with a level playing field. And you might think that having a little bow in it, but you're putting the frets across this, so what's the big deal if it's bent? I say start with a level fingerboard, and at that point, you're working again on a level playing field versus something that's bowed. And they should be bowed when they have strings on it. Thanks, man. Yeah, I'm just waiting to release some music with the guy. We have a bunch of songs we've recorded together, but barely got the Wordle. Wordle. I've seen a lot of that. I have no idea what that's all about. I don't have time for it, really, I don't think. I don't know. Okay. Nice. Okay. So at this point on this guitar, and I'm probably not gonna do this all on camera because this is somewhat time consuming, and I don't want you all sitting there watching my elbow grease happen. Put the lid back on the CA glue. The next part of this job is to get the fret edges filed down to where the angle is correct. And just checking over the body here. Let's get down here in the business. And I've got this tool, creates a 30-degree angle. The frets go here, and the file is adjusted at a 30-degree angle. I think I bought this maybe at Philadelphia Lutherie Supply. Very cool little tool. There's other ways to do it, of course, but I found this to be good, and it doesn't go too fast. Again, I've only replaced up to this fret, so from here forward, I'm going to have to start knocking these edges off. If you're wearing headphones, I'm really sorry about all the noise. I'm hoping the broadcast is working good. I'm getting errors on my YouTube stream here for some reason. Yeah. Let's see. What'd you say? Oh yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. Put some masking tape on the finish close to the neck end. Why would I do that? I'm curious. Put some masking tape. Okay, thanks, Preston. I appreciate that. It keeps telling me that there's something weird going on with the signal or something like that. Terribly aggressive file. Oh yeah, no, this file is way tall enough. It's nowhere near hitting the finish, but I get that. That would probably not be a bad idea. Actually, it's not a bad idea at all. But I'm gonna go ahead and keep doing what I got. Boy, they just went in so nice, man. Those are clean as a whistle. Let's get a brush here. Knock the... The other thing you want to be real careful of after you've done work like this when you're filing on metal, definitely take your take your pad outside and clean it off. Still got a bit more that needs to come off of these edges, so I'm going to keep at it here. They're not quite down to the binding at this point yet. And again, I'm pulling towards me with the file to really try and drive that file into the fret ends. I like to work this file until it just touches the binding, and right at this spot where the old frets exist, it's actually touching the binding, and I'm starting to see just a subtle little hint of the contact being made there. You want to keep these fret edges so that when you run your finger down the fingerboard, you just don't feel them. And of course, I haven't rounded off the sides of these yet. They're still very rough, but they're close. They're very close. Almost there. Preston, do you have a link to your stream tonight? Yeah, I use oh, you sang the, oh, dude, okay, that's cool, Kevin. Yeah, I like the shorter files because it seems, I feel like I have better control. I can cover one small area and not have a big vast amount of space. It lets me focus on one little spot. You know, I'm not always super careful about time, really. If it takes me a little longer, I'm okay with that. And keep in mind, I don't live in a big city, so the pace that I work at and when I get things done is when I get them done. If I feel, hey Rogue, if I feel a new tool or a better tool would be available or is available, I will certainly do that. But yeah. Okay, so we're gonna. And another thing that I have to be very careful of at this point is the nut. When you're doing this, or even when you're doing the leveling sanding, you want to be careful about knocking that nut out of place. Not that that's a big deal to stick back down, but really. All right. So we're at the point now. I can tell that my file has made contact with the edge of the fingerboard, so we're ready to start leveling. You guys, I'm gonna hang up this meeting today. I appreciate y'all being here. Time to get going on the level and the crown. Been on for almost an hour now, so peace, everybody. I hope you all have a wonderful day today. Enjoy the sunny weather if it is sunny where you are. Peace, y'all.
So has it got big letters?
It does. It's